Hey everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. So I am slightly feeling a little bit under the weather. I feel like I've had a sore throat for like the past 2 weeks. So I have some tea and we're gonna read some tea. So grab your beverage of choice. I here have a throat tea and it tastes like apple cider. It's really quite good. Does it actually do anything? I don't know, but it's tasty. Fun fact, I need to get these overalls altered and they are currently tied in the back with a cord so that it stays up. I think what I'm gonna do is maybe once a month we read Reddit stories. I get to judge people and say my opinions to people who will probably never see this video. So would I be the butthole for not going to a wedding? Okay, so I, 20 female, am writing this on behalf of my parents, who are both male and female, 50 years old, because they don't use Reddit and they would like people's opinions on the situation. For the sake of this post, I, the daughter, will refer to myself as Stacy. Okay, from this point on is my parents' point of view. Our family friend's daughter, Patricia, I'm sorry, female 23, is getting married in July. We've known Patricia and her family since she was around 8 years old. Anytime we would see them at gatherings, Patricia and Daisy, as well as the other girls around her age, would always hang out and play together. The girls have essentially all grown up together. When Patricia was 15 years old, she had her quinceañera. Daisy was 11 at the time and was not invited because she was too young. However, our other family friend's daughter, both 12, were invited. We decided not to make a big deal out of it and accepted the fact that they viewed Daisy for being too young, but of course it did upset us a bit that the other girls were only a year older than Daisy and they were invited. Since then, we've still been friends with Patricia and her parents. There's never been any bad blood between us. It's always been very cordial. When Daisy turned 15, she wanted a small gathering, so we did not invite Patricia and her parents. But it doesn't seem like they've held a grudge because of that in any way, considering they were on vacation when Daisy's party occurred. Okay. Fast forward to a few weeks when the wedding invitations were sent out. Our invitation clearly stated it was only for 2 people, so we assumed that Patricia and her fiance were only inviting couples to the wedding, which is also shitty. That's until we spoke to our family friends. Their daughters are around Daisy's age, 2 21-year-olds and a 19-year-old, and all 3 of them were invited. We would say that these family friends are at the same level of closeness with Patricia and her family, so it's not a matter of them being closer to the family. So they're all like kind of close. Okay. When we told Daisy that she wasn't invited but the other girls were, she was a bit upset. She felt like it was the quinceañera situation all over again and she was confused as to why she was excluded again. Daisy has always viewed Patricia as like an older cousin and there's never been any issues between them. This also leads us to wondering if they would be the assholes for going/not going. We feel sad for our daughter Daisy that she's being excluded, but we feel as though if we don't go to the wedding, it'll be a sign of retaliation. People are going to start talking and we need an excuse as to why we can't go to the wedding. The same would probably happen if we did go to the wedding. People would start asking why Daisy isn't there when all of the other girls that grew up with are there. Would we be the assholes for not going / or for going? Listen, y'all need to talk to each other. I think you guys need to clear the air about why she wasn't invited. It seems like maybe Patricia doesn't view Daisy as close as Daisy views Patricia. I personally don't know the two, but it seems like maybe Patricia doesn't want Daisy in her life or something weird like this. I just feel like you guys need to talk to her. For me personally, we would hang around like a lot of my parents' friends who had kids. Like we all did grow up together, but we were never really like that close to each other. Like none of us were in the same grades. Some of us were, but like we just like were never in the same circles growing up. We were all in different circles. I'm not expecting a wedding invitation to any of their weddings. Same vice versa, but also it's like family friends. It's like sometimes you ask just to be nice because he kind of grew up together. Like, I get it. Maybe it's a budget thing, but then all the other daughters were also invited, which is kind of like weird. My advice is you guys gotta talk to Patricia. I feel like this has been waiting since Patricia's quinceanera. Let's see what other people said. Yeah, exactly. This person, not the butthole. It seems like your daughter's relationship with Patricia isn't what you thought it was. It's possible that you assumed that they were besties, but Patricia didn't see Daisy that way. Maybe just tolerated her because their parents were friends and she would have to see Daisy anyway. But now she's an adult and she can choose her friends completely, and Daisy didn't make the cut. Not the butthole. So many assumptions. Why are we talking about birthday parties from 10 years ago? That's not healthy. Neither is expecting an invite to someone else's wedding. It's just weird that, like, I get it. I think, honestly, that's it. I think Patricia was just being nice. Would not be the butthole if you don't go. Support your daughter, and if they question your decision, admit that it's because of a repeated exclusion of Daisy. The truth shall set you free after all. One of my old friends at the time, where we just kind of like fell apart. She just stopped hanging out with me. But we were really best friends, but she was getting married, and she's getting, it was like a destination wedding, so she's getting married. So I think in Mexico or something like that. She invited the whole entire family because we all, I don't think our parents were like friends, you know, but it's a small town. But she invited the whole entire family. I think my parents went because, you know, she was a big part of me growing up in my life and stuff like that. I think they went, and I had the opportunity to go. Like, I was home from college, but we hadn't talked for years. It just kind of cut me out. And I decided not to go. I didn't care if my parents went, of course. Like, it didn't matter to me. But, like, to me, it's like we hadn't talked in so long. And I'm like, I'm not going to just go out of obligation. It's just kind of weird. Boyfriend stuff posted 35 minutes ago. Okay. Am I the butthole for not helping my boyfriend when I promised I would? We shall judge and we shall see. My boyfriend, 25 male, and I, 27 female, have been together for a year. Okay, early relationship. For reasons, my boyfriend was unable to go to college when he was younger. When we met, I helped him enroll in community college since he expressed a desire to go there. I promised that I would help him through his school journey as much as I possibly could. I hope you do not mean financially, but like mentally. So far in 1 year, he has been in school. I picked his classes every semester, done his financial aid, applied for him a loan to cover the costs until a scholarship I also applied for on his behalf came through. Helped him take midterms and finals because he has bad test taking anxiety. Took 2 winter courses online for him so he could focus on a very difficult math class. Oh, honey. It was time to pick classes again last week, so I logged on and picked his classes. Are you his mother? What the fuck? It would not allow me to enroll in a class that he needs, but I wasn't sure why. So I was like, hey, you need to go to an advisor. I made him the appointment for the advisor, which was through email. So the day comes for the appointment, and I was on the phone with my friend. The advisor emailed that he didn't have the requirement for the class and offered him alternative options. He immediately started freaking out and asked me to end my call so I could call him and explain it to him. I said no, and he began flipping out and cursing out my friends and family who he feels I prioritize over him. Dump his ass. Oh my God. I did not want to end my call because I was enjoying my conversation with my friend, and I felt that the advisor was better equipped and getting paid to deal with his issue than me. You are correct. All the answers and the explanations he needed could be easily gotten from the advisor with who he had an appointment with. I haven't been in school for almost 10 years. Same. I had to teach myself how to do everything when doing it for him. I didn't understand why he couldn't do the same. Millions of people go to college without anyone's help, and they utilize the sources at their hands, like the advisors, to learn what is required. I wonder why. College, they help you, okay? They want your money. They're gonna help you. I also feel like my boyfriend expects way too much of me, and every time I help him, a little favor becomes a huge responsibility on my back, which isn't fair to me. When I offered to help him through school, I thought I would teach him how to do things, and he would take over. He does not understand why I am unwilling to take on the stress and responsibility of his school anymore than I already have. His point of view is that I offered to help him in the beginning and he wouldn't have gone to school if I didn't offer to help. Is he going to school? I don't think he's actually learning because you're doing all the work for him. He also feels like I have no issue helping my friends and family and go above and beyond for them, but not for him. He also feels, oh my God, he also feels like when I do help, I throw it in his face and I make him feel like he does nothing for me when he has spent hours speaking to you, been patient with you, buying you chocolate and candy and taking you out. So am I the butthole? No. Are you kidding me? You're the one who's going to college. He is not. He spent all of his time in one little difficult math class at community college. Honey, no. He is a big man baby and he needs to put on some big boy pants and he needs to do it himself. If he doesn't want to be in college, if he can't handle college, maybe first off, he should take lesser classes, take longer, just be a part-time student if it's too much. Colleges have so many resources to help you. Do you think I knew what the fuck I was doing half the time in college? No. We're all faking it till we make it. I'm still faking it till we make it, okay? Your advisor can help you plan out your whole entire schedule, all this stuff. That is not your job. That is not your job. You are not the butthole. He is a butthole. Pickles McGraw says info. I'm sorry, when you said help him take midterms and finals, like, are you actually like taking the test for him? Oh, there's responses. And when you took those online courses for him, were you literally doing his classwork? I don't think you're the butthole for not helping him with his registration, but if this is the level of support he comes to expect, then you're not doing him any favors. You can't go to college for him. He's got to want to do it himself and want to put in the work. Maybe that means a lighter course load. Exactly, we read their minds. And like, it's great for you to help him pick classes and navigate financial aid, but that doesn't mean you just go and do it and he never learns how. Okay, we got some responses. So OP says, I'm trying to be super fair and impartial, but he has really bad anxiety that probably should be medicated. So for his first semester, the time test freaked him out so much and that I did have to sit there and take it with him, but I did overextend myself and offer to help. Between two winter classes, which again I offered to take because he has a full-time in-person job, okay, and was taking a very important one-shot only math class while I was working a cushy remote job. He has taken every class by himself and is a straight A student by his own work. That being said, I definitely created an entitled monster and someone who depends way too much on me and who is lashing out because I don't want to and I am unable to help in the same way and capacity that I once did. Oh my God. What does he expect to do with this degree, whatever he's getting, once he has it and he actually hasn't learned anything? Like, are you going to, I'm not shit talking you, but like, is he expecting you to do all of his work? Just because you have an at-home job, a lot of us still have an at-home job. I still do. This is my office / game room / YouTube studio. But like, the amount of work that I have to do is still the same as someone who works in the office. It doesn't matter where I am sitting. It's still the same amount of work. Listen, you know the mistake, and I'm not shit talking on you. You know what you did was wrong and you are sticking up for yourself and you're putting up boundaries because he is acting like an entitled little baby brat. Like he's acting like a little 5-year-old. It's the malicious compliance for me. It's like, oh well, you did such a great job. When I was in college, I had 2 part-time jobs. I was in marching band and I was a full-time student. If I can fucking do that, you can fucking figure it out. Okay, I know you have a full-time job. And it's just vice versa. You have a lot more. You have 8 hours of work and then you can sit at home and do whatever you need to do. He needs to learn how to do all of this by himself. You did help him register and stuff like that. He needs to put his big boy pants on and learn. There are advisors and professors that are there to help teach him. If you still want to be together with him, I would recommend maybe couples counseling. If he refuses to accept you, setting up a boundary. Oh, this is my favorite Reddit thread. Ooh, this is work related. So you ghost me on payday. I'm gonna ghost you on presentation day. Oh, okay. So I just resigned from my job. It was a small company because my manager would not pay me on time. He would avoid me on payday. And I would have to seek him out and ask why he hasn't paid me yet. I work remotely, so we don't see each other often. Granted, he wasn't always this bad, but he always paid me later than he was supposed to. This year, however, it got worse as the company started doing badly. I'm an understanding person, but what irritated me more than anything was how I would have to ask him why I haven't been paid instead of him informing me that things are bad and salary will be delayed. So I started planning my exit plan. We also had a big project that we were working on and was supposed to be presented for clients. Comes presentation day, I don't show up. He texts and calls and I ignore him. Then later that day, I emailed him my resignation. I thought I should make him feel what he's made me feel for months. I love that. But what I would do is if I don't get paid on time, I don't work. If I do not get paid on my payday, I'm not working. Like, honey, this is not negotiable. If I haven't been paid, I'm not working for free. I love that. Can I tell you guys a petty story about one of my old coworkers that I am seeing this weekend? I haven't seen them for, I would say, some of them I haven't seen for like a year and a half. Some I haven't seen like for 2 years because we've all quit the same toxic job that we all worked at different times. So my coworker, she put up with a lot. She always got the shitty ass projects that were like constantly on fire. I'm an interior designer. That's pretty normal. If projects are on fire, that's the job. She wouldn't get any help. She would have to work by herself. She would constantly ask for help. It was just like a dumpster fire on a dumpster fire. And they kept giving her more and more projects. But she's like, I'm only one person. Like, you've given me the role of 5 people. And she got to a point where she was able to work only 4 days a week. And 32 hours stop. Like, she did negotiate with them. Like, she would not hold back on like how she was feeling. So she was able to negotiate because she also has a fucking child. Like, she had a baby not that long ago. Like, the baby was a toddler, but now she's spending all of her time working even when she's at home and it's now 2 a.m. She's still working. That's not okay. And like, you're raising your daughter, like no, that's not okay. She was able to do that for a while, but what does our toxic boss still want? Just more and more and more and more and more. And so this past year, she saved up all of her vacation days towards the end of the year. So I think it was like January 3rd is when the business would be back open. So what she did on January 3rd is she brought all of her computer stuff with her, all of the stuff she had for work that was owned by the company, brings it up to the front desk and places it all there. She's like, I quit, and just walks out. No notice, no nothing. Like, enjoy your fucking hell. Goodbye. So sorry is I forgot to pack them. Sorry. That is so vague. So this feels like petty revenge to me and wanted to share. A few years ago, I went through a divorce and it ended because he was cheating on me and still denies it. The girl and him were married and had a baby in less than a year after our divorce. So you tell me. He was also emotionally abusive. To be fair, he has a lot of mental health problems. No, that's never okay. It's never okay. And I hope he's doing better, just as long as I'm not around him. A few years before that, though, we moved my grandmother from another state to live with us so that I could take care of her. My grandfather passed away 2 years ago before that. One of the things that he left behind was this very pretty glass mixer and shot glasses. like what you'd see at a bar to mix drinks, that had some gold decorations on it. My grandmother didn't care if she kept it, so my ex asked if he could have them. She said yes, and I really like them too. And they belong to my grandfather, and that means a lot to me. I see where this is going. I was very close with my grandfather, and his passing was very hard on all of us. Everyone loved him, even my ex loved him. Anyways, when we got divorced, he came and got a lot of his stuff. He asked me to pack some of it so he wouldn't have to be in my home any longer than necessary. He then asked me to pack the mixer and glasses. At first I said sure, but the more I thought about it, the less I wanted him to have them. They were my grandfather's, they were very fragile, and packing them would have to be done carefully, and they could still break if one wasn't careful. And to be honest, I don't trust him to not break them on accident. So I kept forgetting, as I had no way to pack them properly. Inevitably, he got in about 99% of his stuff, and it was basically understood that everything left was mine, and I never packed them. He had asked me a couple of times, and I made excuses. It's been 4 years, and they are still proudly displayed in my home. The way I see it, it's payment for what he put me through, and in my honest opinion, they were more mine than his. Petty? I think so, honestly, but oh well, I'm content. I think that's fair. They were your grandfather's. He did ask to keep them, but in the divorce, like, they're yours. It is petty revenge served cold, but I have a hot tea. One might call it old-fashioned pettiness. Works for me since the relationship had been on the rocks for a while. Petty revenge, served stirred, not shaken. My ex-in-laws were and still are very good to me. I have his dad's antique cabinet where I display a bunch of my figurines. My ex asked me to return it to his dad, but his dad told me since he had nowhere to put it and I was using it, that I could keep it for now. My ex-father-in-law has also helped me with yard work and car issues. We are neighbors, okay? And I haven't spoken to my ex in years, but his dad just replaced my roof and fixed my car. Oh, that's nice. I hope you bake them cookies or something. I like that. I do, honestly. Well, thank you so much for enjoying some tea with me. I'm putting that down now. Thank you guys so much for watching. We had a little bit of revenge. We had a little bit of a, you need to dump his ass. And then we had a nice, like, wholesome ending of just sweet revenge. Leave a comment down below if you want me to read some stories from a certain thread. I am more than happy to give my unsolicited opinions and advice to random strangers on the internet. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I love hearing the tea. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all next week. Bye.